right, man. Venom 2, I guess. I don't even know what the fucking name of this movie is. Was it Enter the Carnage or Into the
It's
Carnage?
Venom 2 Electric Boogaloo.
There you go,
No,
man.
it's is it fuck, what is it?
Is it
Something
Enter or
Carnage?
Into?
Into the Carnage? That doesn't
Somebody let us
sound
know
right.
in the comment section down below what the actual name of this movie is. But look,
I'll
let
find
me
it.
start this off
That's
talking about the first installment of Venom because
okay.
there's a lot of similarities in my review for this one. So when it comes
Yeah.
to the first Venom, hated the script, hated the direction, hated the villain, hated the entire concept of the movie, and the best part of the film was the post-credit scene. Now you could take all that and just slap
sequel.
it on for me for the sequel. No, I hated
So
the
I
first
found
one.
out. I found out. Okay, sorry. So
Yeah.
I found out also it is Venom. Let there be Carnage.
Let there be Carnage. There you go.
Okay.
We
That's
were way
just
off.
equally as lazy.
Yeah.
That's just lazy writing. All
It
right.
really is. Well, I mean, that's the kind of the concept of the entire Venom film
Well,
franchise
but
so
here's
far.
the thing, though. You think, and now correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he did the first one. Golem didn't fucking direct number one, did he?
I believe he did. I believe Gollum
Well,
did
then-
direct both movies.
I don't.
And I love Andy Serkis, by the way.
I was gonna say. I
Yeah.
give all respect to him and his acting roles.
Mhm.
Maybe not so much his directing roles then.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
I figured he'd be a pretty good guy to direct something like this, and then it turns out, never mind.
You know, it's one of those things where I don't think the comic book aspects are his avenue. I think he's a really good Caesar in the new Planet of the Apes movies. I think he was great as Gollum. You know, they didn't really give him the chance to Snoke. But this, the direction here, man, I just, again, with the first one, I hated the entire script and the direction and the villain. Post-credit scene for the first one was the best part of that movie. Now, I could literally just take that.
Oh, that's
and
what you're
slap that.
talking about, dude.
Yeah.
I literally forgot there was
Yeah. So, like, literally
I
everything I
forgot
just
they
said, I
did
could
their-
slap that for this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Beat by beat, the whole concept of just, I love the post-credit scene for the first one, love the post-credit scene for this one.
Okay.
Every issue I had, except, I will say this, Carnage was not that bad, but could have been better. Like, Woody Harrelson did enough for me to be like, again, perfect choice to play Carnage. I dug it. They nailed that. There are certain aspects of his Carnage that I really enjoyed. I didn't really need him to have a reason. The whole love interest thing for me was just kind of like,
that was.
I didn't need that for Carnage. I just wanted like a sadistic, doesn't give a fuck, just wants to cause chaos everywhere. The moment they gave him a person that he cared about, that to me diminished the villain in itself. And then you're in this cluster of a movie that's just going the same kind of beat that the first one went with, even though Woody Harrelson is trying his damn hardest to save it as Carnage. You just get the same movie, pretty much, in my opinion. It doesn't feel any different from the last one.
My problem, they didn't let him go full natural born killer.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking Woody Harrelson is playing Carnage, that's as a fan of his acting and his roles in the past, you want to see that. He didn't go full.
Mhm.
They didn't let him go.
And they should have.
And they absolutely should have. And for some of the scenes, like everybody's seen the scene where it's like where he first breaks out. He kills one cop by like shoving his tongue all the way down like his throat, which is, a little weird, but whatever.
Action.
And yeah. Then again, for the whole theme of this movie, and we'll get to that too, they got some questionable things in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's this certain like aspect of like, okay, they're not afraid of showing like brutal like kills and this and that, but they still toned it down to a certain way. And like you said, I think even before they gave him the whole love interest, which comic book fans know that he and Shriek had, were involved in this and that, but it still wasn't as lovey and like over the top as they made it in this film,
yeah.
I think. So it's one of those where I'm just like, yeah, he's a killer, but yeah, he can have feelings, but why do that right now? No.
Right off the bat, yeah, it was just like one of those things I didn't necessarily need. I didn't really need a Venom movie without Spider-Man, but we'll get to that in a short bit. Real quick, I do want to correct myself. Andy Serkis did not direct the first Venom movie. That is my mistake. He was involved in some capacity, but Ruben Fletcher actually directed the first Carnage movie. He's the guy who directed Zombieland, which is actually kind of a sad little.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, because Zombieland is so fucking amazing. I don't know how it went from that to the. little nose
tilt.
gun, little tilt there. Because Zombieland I love, man. That's a great fucking movie. But to go from that to Venom, pretty low standards there. I would have expected better writing. But yeah, so Andy did not direct both of them. He did direct this one though. I do think it is an upgrade, although from the first one. I think there's more. I guess it's more watchable in some aspects. Where again, like you said, it's Woody Harrelson. It's Carnage. Like that, you can't go wrong with that. Even
It's
though the
hard
movie's
not
shit.
to.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, as a fan of the characters and just that in general. It's hard to turn that down, even if all of the footage they showed was bad. And I didn't say that it was, but even if you were so just not invested and not interested in seeing this, all the factors they have going into it were enough to give reason to be like, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So,
course,
yeah, that moving forward, you're just kind of like, oh man, and I really don't, like just some questionable things. And let's just go right for it. The whole idea of them saying that there's a love between Venom and Eddie Brock.
Weird. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
It's very me, myself, and Irene, and that's been my biggest problem.
You've been saying that this whole time.
Because
you nailed it.
They've gone with that because it's, to me, the Venom movies have gone more towards the comedy side, if anything.
Absolutely.
And has been a problem for me, at least, because I never really wanted another comedy version of Venom. We saw that in Spider-Man 3 with Foreman playing Venom. And they went again with that was comedy Venom. They went again with this one.
They're like, nah, look,
Venom.
it's Tom Hardy. There's no way people can laugh at him. I'm like, really? I've been laughing at him his whole goddamn career. Like, it's not that hard.
And that's the thing with me, where that's a weird choice to take that character. Where I get that Deadpool changed a lot of things for a lot of movies, because the whole anti-villain, yada yada, comedy type shit. Yeah. But that works for Deadpool because that's always been Deadpool. That's never changed. It's never been altered, and it's the way it's always been. For Venom, that's a fucking badass, almost horror villain that you could display in any capacity. But instead, they really doubled down on the fucking comedy. So, like, the whole relationship between Eddie and Venom, it was just, to me, it was like watching Jim Carrey, Me, Myself, and Irene. But at least I know when I'm watching Me, Myself, and Irene, I'm not supposed to take that fucking character seriously. I'm supposed to fucking laugh at this ridiculous movie with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, right.
And with this, it's fucking Venom. How am I going to go into this, like, chuckling or going through it? Yeah, some of the comedy stuck. I did like the breakfast, and I thought it was stupid, but did it give me a chuckle? Sure. But then you're remembering, this is freaking Venom. This is supposed to be a badass fucking villain. If they did a better job for the trailer for the next Spider-Man video game, how they showed Venom at the end of it, that scene alone in that trailer for Spider-Man 2.
Voiced by Candyman.
Love it. That scene itself was a billion times better than anything they have shown me in the last 2 Venom movies. And that is saying a lot, dude. We're talking about a full-on budgeted movie. 2 of them now that have made a shit ton of money, so we're going to get more of it, unfortunately. That Venom doesn't stand a chance with the Venom they showed for like 2 seconds in that Spider-Man 2 video game. So that's my biggest issue. I don't like the way they've gone, the comedy aspect of turning Venom into essentially just Deadpool at this point. Because that's how I see it. Yeah. That's where I think it's going.
Well, and I agree. I think they've definitely tried. They've definitely gone. If Venom at any time was going to be, and it never was, but if you look at it from like a horror standpoint, the first Venom had its chance to be the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and it completely failed.
Yeah.
And then from there, it has completely continued the sequels of the Nightmare franchise in being far more over the top and campy than their predecessor, And I think that's the biggest thing, that, like you said, Venom isn't a usual character that you just associate so much comedy with.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're really relying on that, as an actual fan, and I say that because there are not many actual fans. Fuck off. Like, you can challenge it, but you're not. And so as an actual fan of like the character and everything, it's really stupid. And it's like,
it's not
I don't
needed.
get it. It's not needed. No, that's definite. And again, I think I stand by this idea. Tom Hardy nailed it in the movie Legend. Mm-hmm. I don't know why he can't just do that same role for every film, I think he'd have a career. But he chooses these piss poor decisions, and here we are with Venom 2.
I think the problem
Let
with
there
that,
be carnage.
let there be carnage. I think the problem with that goes back to just they thought once again that Tom Hardy was going to get the type of reaction, and you can't say they haven't gotten the reaction because it's insanely making money, which is crazy to me. That they see Bane, they saw how big it was pop culture wise, even if you hate it or love it. I was always in between. I'm not the biggest fan of that movie. That was the weakest of that trilogy. But Bane was a cultural fucking thing for pop culture. Like everybody was doing it, doing the fucking voice. It was everywhere. The fucking football field scene. That voice was mimicked even by the great fucking Kevin Smith all the goddamn time. So it's like I think when they went into the directing and casting process, I think they saw, oh fucking Tom Hardy's already been the villain. Why not cast him as Venom? But the problem is, even in that Dark Knight trilogy, I could take that Bane seriously. And if that was the way you wanted to go, should have made Venom a little bit more serious. Because never once do you take him serious. He's never really intangible. There's that scene that everybody laughs about when like he first sees Carnage and like Venom just like disappears. And like you have Eddie be like, well, I'll let you eat somebody, and he comes back. And it's just like, really? That's a fucking big scene. It's the first time he sees Carnage. And instead of being like, oh shit, fucking first time facing off, he fucking runs away. You get a fucking quick comedy like quote, and then he comes back. And you get another comedy quote from Venom, and then it's like, that's the fucking issue. That's just poor piss writing. It's like an SNL skit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck on.
I don't. I have no idea. Yeah. I'm like.
It reminds me a lot of like early 2000 movies after like X2. It reminds me a lot of like X-Men Origins Wolverine, where they're just like, they'll just throw these fucking pieces on the wall, but based off what the fucking characters are, because Venom is a fucking huge property. People are going to come watch this piece of shit anyways. And once again, Sony's obsession with like building their Spider-Man universe, but then also it's still not really owning it because they're letting Marvel borrow it. And it's just like a whole cluster of shit where I'm just like, you're throwing things at the wall and you're hoping it sticks. Woody Harrelson's Carnage should have been like the biggest fucking thing of this movie, and people should have been talking about that. Instead, talking about the fucking post-credit scene, just like with the first one. I don't want to have to go to a fucking Venom movie and watch however long the fucking movie is, way too long to begin with, to get to the fucking post-credit scene just to be like, oh, I guess that's a cool direction to take it. But if the direction's a piece of shit like this one, then who gives a fuck? And I guess we can get into the fucking post-credit scene. Spoilers, obviously, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not seen this movie, God bless you. You're not missing much. You probably find the post-credit scene online somewhere. The post-credit scene is really astonishing because it's something that like you've wanted to see. With that, you can't have Venom, can't have really Carnage without one key fucking ingredient, which is the fucking guy, the kid that owns the whole fucking universe, fucking Spider-Man. And we finally get that fucking glimpse where Venom's talking to Eddie in the bed. He's telling him about symbiote and all that shit, and like how he like, I guess he would give him like a drop of taste of it, how it's gonna like pretty much throw him off. He does it, but then this fucking light fucking comes in. Reminded me a lot of like Ragnarok. Remember how like they're like transporting through here and there? You get that scene. He ends up in like this, I don't know, fucking looked like a Hawaiian fucking vacation spot.
Yeah.
It was a weird fucking spot to put him at. And then you hear obviously J. Jonah Jameson on the TV screen. You see fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man. For whatever reason, Venom goes back to Venom and licks the screen, which I thought that was kind of weird because why the fuck would he even care?
Yeah.
Spider-Man is without the mask. I thought originally when I had read what the post-credit scene was, I thought it was going to be Spider-Man fully masked. That's why he looked it. But just to see a kid without the mask, he licks the screen, and I'm like, what's the correlation here? Why would he care about Peter Parker?
I didn't think about that as much. I'm like, yeah, he's a child.
Yeah,
fucking gross, dude.
Honestly,
I don't care if you're. I don't care if you're an alien or not. You're fucking weird, bro. Like,
and it's a weird.
You just nailed it, dude. That's the biggest thing. You just nailed Venom. So Venom, the symbiote, is gay, but he's also into kids. We're blurring lines here, Andy. Like
essentially, that's the direction they went with it. I didn't understand it at all. Why he would give a fuck? You would think he would be more concerned about where the fuck am I. Instead, like they'd have a moment where he licks the screen, and then it cuts to the guy coming out of the bathroom, telling him why is he in his room, and then that's where the questions began for me, where I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? in those 3 seconds where he went from being at his place to some random place, and now essentially he's in the MCU. He's in fucking Tom Holland's Spider-Man
Like
universe.
it's so yeah. It's a very weird way they did it. I think it's kind of lazy. But at the same time, I don't know how else they figured they could incorporate him. But I have a feeling there could have been some sort of other way. I just feel like they easily were just like, man,
just throw him in there. Just make it happen some way, somehow.
There's the whole sense of just like, oh, and then bam, now he's in a different. Now he's just been transported. It's just enough where I'm like.
And what did you think of the transport scene? Do you think it's like a Doctor Strange fucking thing? Because I've always been vocal that I don't think the Doctor Strange that we've seen in the trailer for Spider-Man is actually even Doctor Strange. Yeah.
I don't know. That part I don't know. I feel like it'll all just be different reasons, like the blast or like the spell just opens up a bunch of shit that doesn't even have answers to. I don't know. It's just weird.
It's a weird thing to throw in there after your second movie. But then even with again, spoilers, they kill Carnage, which I was very upset by them doing so quickly. And the way they did it as well. And you brought up to me how that was just stupid as fuck for them to go that route. Yeah. How would you even make another, what else can you take Venom to at this point?
Yeah.
I understand them putting them into the MCU. My biggest issue with this, I think the next Spider-Man movie is going to make a shit ton of money, obviously. It's going to be a huge hit. People are going to love it. Fuck yeah. If he's in there, it's going to start to feel a little bit of a fucking cluster. Like, how long is this fucking movie?
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And is he even in the fucking third one? Is he just gonna fucking randomly just show up, or is he gonna fucking help Spider-Man in some fucking? Here's why I will be cool with if he is in this next Spider-Man movie, and I don't think he might probably be towards the end, post credit. Who the fuck knows? Maybe they do what they did in the fucking Spider-Man 2 video game clip, where he just comes out of the shadows at the end. And you hear Craven or whatever. If they're gonna bring him into the movie though in some capacity, I better see fucking Foreman's Venom too.
I mean, at this point,
get fucking crazy, go fucking insane. You already got Defoe back, you already got Doc Ock back, you got Jamie Foxx back as Electro, and he's not painted blue this time, which I'm like, fuck yeah. You got Lizard, you got Sandman. Why the fuck not? If you're gonna go stupid with it, fucking milk the system. Just fucking go all the way through right before Stan Lee gets the fucking property back. And just fucking go for it, man. Just at this point, because I just don't see a world where he just shows up in that movie and we're just supposed to be like, okay, cool. That makes no fucking sense. But hey, here's Tom Hardy's Venom, and there's Toby's Spider-Man, there's Garfield's Spider-Man, there's Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and there's Defoe's Goblin. That's just so much. That's so much fucking information to take in at once.
Yeah, I think that's it too. I'm like, what are you gonna explain for the other two? What are you gonna explain for Toby's, where he's like, I fought a Venom? You know what I mean? Unless they really just think those parts are who cares? It's one of those.
It's concerning because now I'm thinking Morbius is gonna end up being fucking MCU.
I won't be surprised, but it's again one of those things of how much can you just bank on being because of Doctor Strange? I'm like, fuck, okay, dude. Everything's just because of this spell. Everything's because of Loki, or everything's because of and yes, maybe it could work like that. But to another certain extent, I'm just kind of well, why? Why does it have to? Just why? I don't know.
I have no idea what that plan. And I just remembered right now because I haven't seen the fucking Morbius trailer since the first day it fucking dropped, and I don't even know how long ago that was. I totally forget that fucking Michael Keaton Vulture's and fucking Morbius.
Apparently, yeah,
he's in the last shot of that trailer, and I'm just like, it's just the whole fucking party, I guess. I don't know what the fucking plan is. I know you sent me some leaked spoilers for the next Spider-Man movie, which I guess spoilers. If you guys don't want to hear this, obviously this is not confirmed. This is just shit.
Get out now. Run. Close the fucking door and take off the headphone. No. No, listen along. It's gonna be fun,
Yeah,
guys.
and I know you mentioned that. I think this is just leaked shit. I mean, so far we've been actually fucking
We have
around
no.
everything we've
We've
leaked.
been, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we're shooting
It's
100 right now.
crazy. It's crazy being right sometimes. Like it feels
Honestly,
good. Feels good for the ego, but also it's just like, oh, this is scary. Yeah, we've been pretty right.
yeah,
So
we've nailed a
see,
few of them.
let's see how far we keep it.
So the new one is that Goblin, William Defoe's Goblin, will end up killing Aunt May
Uh-huh.
in this next Spider-Man movie.
That is the Marissa Tomei Aunt May,
Yeah,
correct? Yeah. That's the
I would
hot
hope
Aunt
so. I
May.
hope they don't bring fucking Toby's old freaking Aunt May back into this just to be like, we
They
want you
just
for
let her
one
sleep,
scene.
man. Just
Like you already
tired.
tried killing her in the first one, man. Like she was
Like
praying,
like
her
98.
nightgown, willing to father ruin the party. It's like I would assume that Tomei's fucking Mary Jane, my bad. Fucking Aunt May was gonna take the hit, but I mean, I don't know how
Yeah,
true that is. I know you. I think you were telling me I might be wrong about this because my memory defeats me sometimes. But you were saying that she hates the role, or she hates it, right?
no, not Marissa Tomei.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, what's the other one? Forrest Gump's mom.
Oh, fuck.
The one from Amazing Spider-Man, but I forget the actress's name. Sally Fields.
There you go.
Sally Fields, you fucking bitch. Apparently, maybe not. I don't know her. Yeah, apparently she said she didn't like the role. Um, which is kind of odd. The way I can look it up again. It was pretty much saying she didn't like the role because in like superhero like styles, it's still not like genuine enough. I'm like, you're playing someone who had a dead husband and
Yeah.
you're like taking care of this preteen, you know, like
Your
what
fucking
do you mean
husband dies
genuine
at
enough,
some point.
buddy?
Like,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, how much more
I
did you? It's not fucking
I
Tom Hanks and Forrest. Like, sorry.
yeah, I was just like I had no idea. So who the fuck knows?
But that's one of the rumors as of right now. Another one was Toby's Spider-Man delivering the with great power comes great responsibilities to Tom, which again I'm just like I do not understand the MCU is just like vendetta with Uncle Ben being like because of
it's like no.
don't get
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it's kind of weird. I mean, different properties, but I'm like Batman can always still show how his parents died in every single film,
Every
no matter
single
how many times. No matter how many times people already know the story.
doesn't even
So
have to
it's
be his
like,
movie. It could be Joker and they'll still kill him.
yeah, they'll still be like, hey guys,
It's like the
I'll
pros are
see
still
some.
coming off and your husband's still getting shot. No matter what, it doesn't matter the
No
villain.
matter what film, Aquaman, they're like, no, hold on. Bruce Wayne's parents dead. Like,
No matter
why?
what Superman movie, there has to be a fucking moment where Krypton explodes and they send his ass in the ship to fucking Kansas. For whatever
true.
reason, this MCU was like, nope, no Uncle Ben. Robert Downey Jr. is his father figure, which I'm like, look, I love Iron Man. That was a weird fucking choice for that character. It was just a weird thing to be like, Uncle Ben is irrelevant to
That's
Tom
your father
Holland.
now.
He's your
That's your
papa.
dad now.
Fucking Papa Tony Stark is now fully in fucking
Yeah,
and then you got fucking what's his name? John Favreau was happy trying to fuck Aunt May the whole time. So
pretty much, yeah.
I mean, is that
It's
his
just
Uncle Ben? Is that supposed to be
a little
that in
bit.
some capacity?
I think in some way everybody's a little bit Uncle Ben. That's what's weird for him too.
It's interesting, man. I don't have no. I mean, I have high expectations for the movie. I just have no idea what to really fucking expect. The more I hear about it, the more it sounds like a real big cluster. Obviously, people are gonna love it. It's gonna make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But I hear a lot about it, and it just sounds like a lot of fucking pieces in one big fucking puzzle. You're talking about him dealing with his identity being like out there, him going to Doctor Strange or Doctor Strange, whatever the fuck it could be. The villain showing up. From everything I've heard, Defoe's Goblin will be the one that stays in the MCU. But then you have the Venom thing happening. And I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore at this point. I'm just like, when it happens, it'll happen. At this point, I'm just like, we'll see. At the same time, Tom's contract expires after one more movie. So I'm like, none of this might not even matter in like 3-4 years at the same time.
That's true too, and I forgot about that. I forgot about reading that whole thing of his contract is up after 3. They pretty much already signed on and said they're going to make 3. And now you have they're fucking stupid. You signed on for 3. Number 2 was Carnage. You knew goddamn well going in that it was going to end with Spider-Man. Why the fuck you didn't just then sign on for number 3 to be your maximum Carnage movie?
Why would you miss that at all? That would have been so fucking good.
Or even fast track your separation anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that one's a little bit more bolder, but easily enough because of the Venom that they've created and they've made so far. There's the Sony universe easily could have had a team up where they're still kind of like their back and forth banter and this and that, but it could have worked.
Oh, easily.
I don't see that happening now, obviously, because they fucking killed Carnage. But even if like they verse any other villain, I don't see that really being the case or not working out as well as it could have.
Well, at this point, like, what could you even do after, like, if he's in the MCU as we're all supposed to believe, and it is, obviously they're gonna have that moment with Spider-Man and Venom. But then again, you've made him such a fucking comedian.
Oh, bitch!
Right? How the fuck am I supposed to take him seriously as a threat to Spider-Man? And why would I even think he's gonna be a threat to Spider-Man? Because everything you've told me in the last 2 movies doesn't seem like a bad guy at all.
Spider-Man's taken on Spider-Man's died. Like, so why should I take this fucking idiot seriously? Coming up to being like, I'm gonna eat this kid, and you're like, why? You know what I mean? Like, he's taking on the Winter Soldier. He's taking on Thanos. He's taking on, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
you're supposed to care about this chuckling fuck. Like,
yeah,
fuck on.
Being like,
I was really hoping that it was going to end up being some way, somehow connected to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
I was hoping Carnage would kill Venom in the end somehow. But,
that would have been cool. I would have been down with just Woody Harrelson playing Carnage and a bunch of like solo projects and just have that be. Because honestly, like you said, you brought up Freddy. That cool. Could have been. You could have done a horror fucking anthology as Woody Harrelson's Carnage.
Oh, dude, and that's the funny thing. They try to talk about this whole idea of like, we're going to do the villain movies because, again, everybody and anybody saw how well Joker did.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be a fan of comic movies or a fan of the movie itself because we've gone over that as well. Mm-hmm. Is it a movie for everybody? No. That being said, everybody saw the success that a movie like Joker did, where you have it marketed the way it did and you have it about a villain so iconic as the Joker.
Yep.
Everybody then ran to their fucking computers and started typing away their scripts for any and all villains. Not all of those work, though. That is the problem. Very few can be adapted. I truly believe very few can be adapted very well. There are some from DC and some from Marvel of the anti-heroes that can be done even less well.
Yeah.
Which is why they should just all calm the fuck down and just chill. That's it. We don't need a Lobo movie yet.
No, we don't.
And definitely don't need The Rock to play. Sorry. I know that's a big big thing on the internet. You know who I saw? Facts. I saw one that may be the one that plays him, and I would be okay with it. Even though he hasn't had that much, because he's still robbed of one role. It was going to be, what is his name? Negan.
Oh, okay.
What is his name?
Dude that played Affleck's Bruce Wayne's dad.
So he still should have played Thomas Wayne, like that version of Batman.
Flashpoint?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still he should. But other than that, he kept petitioning saying he wanted to play Lobo. And I'm like, I could see that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That would be good. I think that would work. Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, Lobo's a character that not so many people know, but I'm like, fuck it. Bring it to life. Give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's when people see them or him, it would be like, fuck yeah, I'll sign up for that. And like you said, like not every villain is going to work. Like I love Kraven in the comic books. There's some really amazing Kraven Spider-Man comic books that I really fucking love. And I used to own. But a movie with the homie that played Kick-Ass, which I'm a fan of. I actually like him as an actor. He's really good. He was amazing in Kick-Ass. Not as much in the second one, but the first one he was great. But I blame Jim Carrey for the second one. Like, yeah, kind of. That was fucking. They pushed him and McLovin were just like a little bit too fucking much to be doing that shit. But him as Craven, I'm just like, I don't need a Solo, man. You could just throw him into a Spider-Man movie, have him hunt. You could even throw him, if you want to, into a Venom movie and have him hunting Venom. That would make more sense to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, having Venom on the run from Craven and Craven wanting to like take whatever he has, that makes more sense than Venom going to search for fucking, going to get interview and all that shit happening with Carnage. Like it would, and even the first fucking movie with the villain was shit too. I don't need a Craven solo movie. I don't need the Morbius fucking solo movie, especially if you're gonna have a Blade movie at some point in Marvel again. Could have just thrown Morbius as a main villain at some point in that Blade movie. It would have been fucking cool. Would have dug it. I think what was it, the first Blade movie had that post credit scene that was cut out, where supposedly like Morbius is like in the fucking buildings looking at Blade, and they cut that shit out.
About that.
Yeah, I think if people want to view it on YouTube, you can look that shit up. It was cut out. Yeah, Morbius.
They had someone playing him.
Yeah, but they didn't show his face. He's just like on a building. It's with the scene where Blade's with his girl, and they're standing at the sunset. She looks and she points. He turns around, and you just see Morbius chilling with like a fucking bandana tied around his face, and he just jumps. And it's like, oh shit! Never pulled it off. Never pulled the trigger to do it. And then we got the other Blade movies that weren't as successful as the first one. But like again, a solo Morbius Jared Leto movie sounds like complete and utter dog shit that not even my boy Michael Keaton can fucking pull off. And it's like you said, Joker made people think like, oh, we could do these fucking movies. It's like not every single villain needs an adaptation as a solo one, because a lot of these villains, they kind of need the hero to get to that point. Joker not so much, because Joker's origin story could be different in any capacity, anytime, anywhere. If it doesn't have one, you can always just write one, and that's why that worked. Something like Morbius, Craven, all those, even Venom itself, don't need it, hasn't worked. And Sony, it's just that they've sold most of the property of fucking Spider-Man, have to like lean on these villains. But at the same time, you need these villains to be fucking coherent with the fucking main character who you don't even fucking own. And I'm just like, I'm not old, but you're laying fucking Disney borrow. And like,
right,
I don't know.
I found the Blade footage.
Oh, you did? It's very like stock footagey, but it's pretty
it is.
cool. Yeah. It's pretty, but they filmed it. And I'm like, why didn't you fucking pull the trigger on this shit?
But what did they say? They didn't say his name or anything? I think
they don't, but somebody wrote like an article that talked, I guess, to the director or producer that was like, yeah, the plan was for Morbius to be in the second one. And then would have been a lot cooler if it was, I think. They should just pull the trigger on that. But then again, like if I'm MCU, I'm Disney, I would tell Sony, just like fuck off with your fucking shitty Morbius movie. And let's just throw him into fucking Blade with the new one. Get that shit done, because that just makes complete fucking sense. Like, he's the biggest vampire in the Marvel universe. Why the fuck are we gonna let Jared Leto ruin another fucking villain? It just seems like a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I never knew that. That's funny, man. About Blade.
Yeah,
Blade movies suck. Like, let's be real.
First of all, it's passable. The last of 2 and 3 were just so fucking awful.
Shitty. Number 3, Hunter couldn't save it. Ryan Reynolds couldn't save it. He made it comical. That was the only thing that saved it. But I love, and you and I have talked about the story time and time again. I love my favorite story from the filming of Blade 3, Blade Trinity, sorry, is that Wesley Snipes was such an asshole at one part, like filming, that he refused to open his eyes while lying on the table. And so they had to CGI his eyes like open.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fucking amazing to hear. Like, what an asshole. He's just like, no, I'm going to sleep. Like, and you're just like, oh, what a fucking.
Did he CGI his fucking eyeballs? This is a guy who didn't pay his
get him out of here.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, Wesley Snipes was the brightest person, but the fact that the studio, and you know what's funny, not to like change subjects, I was watching like this Halloween Michael Myers documentary, and they're talking about H2O.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And there's a scene where Michael Myers is about to kill some kid with the cork, and they CGI'd his mask. It's probably the worst CGI'd Michael Myers mask of all fucking time. That the fact that technology was getting so decent at the time that somebody was like, no, we'll fix it. We'll just CGI it, and you get the worst looking fucking Michael Myers that you'll ever fucking see in any Michael Myers movie ever. And there's been some dog shit ones, but that fucking look that they've shown in the H20 is crazy. But like the Wesley Snipes eye one, again, kids, look it up on YouTube. Good. It's so good. It is so good because you could just tell it's so overly fucking white. It doesn't even sit right. It's like shaky on the eyelid because Wesley was like moving his eyelids in the shot. It was just those Blade movies, man. The first one was good. It made a shit ton of money, And really, that Spider-Man and X-Men were like the first three big superhero movies in the early 2000s that really opened up the floodgates. Because by then, fucking Batman and Robin had fucking destroyed everything, and we never got the fucking Tim Burton Superman movie. Instead, they went to go make fucking Will Smith's shitty Wild West movie. But the Renaissance came back with fucking Blade, Spider-Man, and X-Men. But it's just funny that it went that route, and Wesley was just being a hard ass. I hope they do bring him back for the new one though. Make him a fucking villain. I don't give a fuck. That'll be fucking
Good.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, at that point, I think it
After
would be
Loki,
cool.
it's like you could do pretty much fucking everything. It looks like they are. You're doing the whole variant shit over and over, and they keep fucking mentioning it every chance they do.
Yeah, it's a bit much now. But
Yeah.
yeah, true. I mean, that would be cool to see him in some aspect at least, just enough to be like, okay, you know. So
No,
who
we'll see.
knows?
It's one of those interesting ones. That changed subject real quick. Fucking, they asked Joaquin Phoenix today if they're making Joker
Oh
2.
yeah,
He said
yeah.
that he doesn't know, but that there's a lot left to do with that character, which I'm just like, there is. As much as I love that movie, and you know I do, that movie is fucking just amazing to me at least. It just, I don't know if there is much to do with that character. I'm fine with that always and forever being a one-off. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to learn
I
in Hollywood is
I
one-offs
think
aren't the end of the
so.
world.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. And not to cut you off, we've definitely talked about that though.
Mm-hmm.
That some films are great of their on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we have very, very different what's it called? We have different opinions on Joker.
Yeah.
But we have similar opinions on Joker. Did we enjoy the film? Yes. To the core of it, of that, yes, we enjoyed the film. But another thing that we agree on, I think, at the end of the day, is that that movie does not have to have a sequel.
No.
It does not have to have any other ties to it at all, and
Mm-mm.
it could live up to its name and being itself, and you either enjoy it or you don't.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think they really run the risk of hurting the first one by possibly making a sequel. However, if done correctly, I might be wrong. I just feel like the first one was enough to be like, I don't poke the bear. Just leave it. You know?
It's one of those things where you're doubling down on something that was a huge success. That should be it. That's the end. We get it. Let the viewers' imaginations take them to wherever they want to take them. When it comes to like, oh shit, Bruce's parents are dead. At the same time, fucking Joaquin's character is becoming Joker. Kind of got the first real live action fucking origin story for this. The end, because any other way to go about it, especially if you're a fan of Batman, you know Gotham is just like owned by the fucking mob and all that shit. When the time where Bruce is training, going to the League of Shadows, becoming fucking Batman, all that shit's happening. Like you don't really hear much of fucking Joker doing shit in any fucking comic in any capacity, and I just don't think you could do that. The only way I could understand it isn't even a fucking sequel. It's if they just fucking shock the world and they put him in Pattinson's universe. Then I could
Yeah.
probably swallow that because I'm like, okay, well now it's just Joker, Batman, which yin yang makes the least more sense than seeing a sequel to an origin story of the Joker. You're gonna make the same mistake they made with Venom, even though the first Venom was shit. Double down. It's like you're continuing the storyline where, especially the way the movie ended, he's like full blown fucking crazy, sadistic. I'm gonna kill everybody, Joker. Where the fuck are you gonna take
Yeah.
that character to? He's just gonna be stuck in
Yeah.
Arkham the whole time.
Exactly.
Like, there's nowhere to take that. I don't understand. I love Todd Phillips. I think he's fucking amazing. I just watched fucking Old School yesterday. The guy's a talented motherfucker. But I just don't think it's a good idea for him to try to make a second one. I think he needs to learn from what he did with The Hangover, where he fucked that up and he came back for a second one, and they milked the fuck out of it, and learn what he learned with Old School. Old School is a one-off, fucking classic movie. Everybody still goes back and watches it. Nobody watches Hangover 2 or 3. They go back to watch the fucking first Hangover. Make a sequel for Joker. You're going to fuck that first one over and just make it just like not sit well with everybody else. And this is somebody that loves it. I would love to see Joaquin's Joker one more time, just not in a solo movie. I would rather see him in the world where Batman's Batman.
Mhm.
And fucking man, just make a fucking show about it. Make a fucking another Gotham where somebody else is like, from that moment on, is learning to become Batman, and you could have like Joker in the background doing whatever the fuck you want to do. But the movie, I just think it's a little stretch. Like it's a
Exactly.
stretch that they're making fucking what's the goddamn movie with Russell Gladiator.
Oh
Make a
yeah,
sequel to that shit. I'm like, how the fuck do you make a sequel from that? Like, that's another
yeah,
one-off. That's fine. I got the whole gist of it. What more do you have to say? He died.
yeah,
Bye-bye. That's it.
yeah. I don't get that one at all. That
Yeah.
one's fucking ridiculous. But so I don't know, man. I think that's a good wrap up too. Just being like,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I don't know what they expect, but at the same time, sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
As easy as it said.
That's the one thing that Hollywood's never gonna learn. Is just like the less you give, the better reactions you usually have, the better numbers you usually get, the better it just stays with people. This Venom movie, it's not gonna stay. People are gonna forget it very quickly, and they're only gonna talk about the fucking post-credit scene, and that's the
Oh,
only
absolutely.
thing that's gonna stick with them. Halloween comes out very soon. I know we'll probably do a fucking review for that at some point
Absolutely.
because it's fucking Halloween season. I know I do at some point in the very near future. I do want to do the fucking curse of like movies that we had like mentioned
Yes.
at
Yes.
one
Yes.
point. I
Yes.
watched Poltergeist today, and it just hit me too. And I'm just like, that's a movie that
Oh
fucking
man.
fucked a
Well,
lot of people up.
I know we've said this at least one time before, and we
Yeah.
didn't keep our promise, but we weren't as true. There's going to be another time, and we said it here first, that your boy Hollywood and your boy Rossi are going to be in the same place. We're both going to be in our hometown hanging out for a bit. So maybe we pull the trigger and say that that's the night they recorded, because I
Yeah.
feel like that could be a night that we can just pull up. We'll figure out copyright. We're not trying to get our shit taken down. We've had to deal
No.
with that
Yeah.
enough. But we might just pull up different clips on like YouTube or something like that and watch along something and be like, hey, this is some. But I definitely think that could be an idea for when we're in the same area code.
Hmm.
And it'll still be during October, so it still
Yeah.
fits the, you know. I'm down though, because there's definitely a lot of ideas with that and a lot of fun stuff we can go over.
Oh,
And
that's
then
sick.
kind of even transferring over into our own lives, like we've now talked about off the air about, maybe in the not so distant future, we'll start our hand in the ghost adventure stuff too. So I
Oh yeah.
mean,
There's a lot of exciting
it's
things coming soon.
oh yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that could be something that the adventures of Rossi and Hollywood going ghost hunting. I mean, come on, that's money of itself
That's
right now.
that's just that's easy
That's
money. That's something that people are
that's
going to
good.
want to tune in. But yeah, we got a lot of cool things coming up, especially it being October. I think we'll probably be hedging more into the spooky verse of all the horror movies that we love. Like I said, well, I know we're going to be together at some point this October. We'll try to get it done. I don't want to make that many
Yep,
promises because then eventually
I know, right?
the
We never
drinks start
know.
hitting, and then it just doesn't fucking happen. But that's
It
just life.
happens.
But we'll definitely try. We'll definitely make an effort. I know there's a lot of things, but the next podcast, I think we'll probably talk about horror movies at some point. Halloween
Yep,
review. It's October. You got to talk about horror. The horror enough was actually having to watch Venom 2. That was scary as it is. That I
that's
have to go
true.
through that entire hour, fucking however long that fucking movie was. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down below what you thought of Venom. Let us know what you gave it, your review. I'm going to give it a score just to end this podcast. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10, honestly.
Solid,
Yeah.
solid. I'll stand by that.
Yeah.
I don't
3
want
out
to
of
be
10.
too mean, but I'm gonna give it a 3. Yeah,
It's a 3. It's a
and
3. I think it's got 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, we're there. We're there. Honestly, from
there
30
we
to
go.
100, 3 to 10. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys enjoy the rest of the night. We'll see you guys very